Okay, let's try and get this Firebase adapter to work again. I've been talking to the creator of this project for the Firebase SvelteKit adapter, and he's actually given me some pointers to help me fix the problems I was having. So basically, we're just going to go through the code that we've done. So he actually helped me fix some of my cloud functions. So basically, he's followed the steps of documentation. Let me just fix this. Okay. Okay, so what SvelteKit adapter actually outputs is a function, and it's sort of like an entry point to the app. And what he's done here, James, is just changed this rewrites thing to SvelteKit. I'm not quite sure what that is yet, but it's in the documentation or something. So he added that in there, and that's all he did. Okay, and then I added some more things. So what I had to do was, because I had to add this in here because the terminal told me to do it. The hosting section in the Firebase JSON has to point to the build. So basically, I've got the client build and the client folders where we're storing our data. In the previous SvelteKit full text starter, the Svelte project was outside of, is in the same folder as the Firebase project, but that was just getting kind of confusing to sort of have all the files in the one root directory. So that's why we have that. And that's why we modified this public field here. Okay, and then I had an error in the console, but James added some new features to fix that error. So I upgraded this Svelte adapter Firebase. So this, when you create the build with the adapter now, this SvelteKit adapter, it gives you some code that you need to actually add in. So the first time I ran the build successfully, load build alias here, this code gets generated this here. So what you do, you basically paste that into your index, root index for the functions. And so that's what I've done here. This is the index file. So before, it was basically the search for the username, or posting a username and listing users. Very feature incomplete, but that's what the full stack starter had. And then I pasted this in like that. And once you actually paste that code in there, this index file, when you run build again, the adapter knows that you've added that code in, so it doesn't actually tell you to re-put this in again, which is quite good. He's got some code checks in there. I'm not sure how he done it. And you can actually, I did it in a TypeScript file, and when you run TypeScript compilers, it will be compiled out into the lib folder. So if I just go to functions, we've got the source here, I've got our lib file. So the code that he recommended you write has a require statement. Where is it? So this is the. Let me just double check this. He's got a require SvelteKit in there, and he's got require in there. I wonder what that gets compiled out to actually. I'm just curious. So of course this is using modules, and then Node needs, of course, require statements, and hopefully they'll synchronize together at some point. So he's got this here. I wonder if that gets compiled to something else. No, it just remains as a require statement. Okay. Alright. And then what I do is I just clear up some of the folder files here, and then I also update my packages. So this is the root package JSON. I'm just removing this Chrome thing. I haven't needed to do that for a while, this Chrome no security. So I've removed that from that file. And within the functions directory, I just added some emulation commands, which we'll try and use at some point, but I haven't used them yet, but they could be useful. And then we've the build command for the SvelteKit will basically point it to remove the correct folder. James pointed the reason for that out on his GitHub. So before I deploy it on the hosting, I was going to run the emulation to show you that it's still working. So what you can do is I'm in the functions project here, and I'm just going to NE, which is going to run the emulation. emulator start, only functions database. So that basically it's just checking to see that the cloud function is not broken. So that's got my functions running as an emulator, and that means that this extra code here is not breaking anything. Let's just look at this quickly. So what this does is it exports this function called SvelteKit, which it takes a request, so / SvelteKit or something like that, and just check to see if there's this thing called SvelteKit server, and then it requires the index from .SvelteKit default, and then it logs SSH handler initialized, and then it does run await SvelteKit server. So we're just going to go into this file here. It's SvelteKit index. So this is going to be inside of the here, because the SvelteKit is copied over into the Cloud Functions lib directory. That's why we had to read that the adapter reads the Firebase JSON, and that points to this. He's done a really clever job of working all this out, because this could get really complicated quickly, you know. But him depending on the Firebase config just saves him in a lot of complexity. So this is the index file, which is exporting at a default. And this is all the SvelteKit server-side logic handling here, which we've touched a little bit on previous videos, but I don't have the quite expertise yet to really go into it in detail, because there's a lot of code here. Not too bad. I mean, only 2,500 lines. So okay, let's just leave this alone because it's a bit complicated. So this is exporting the SvelteKit server, and this is the default entry point within our Firebase functions, I believe. Let's double check that. Go into Firebase JSON, source functions. Oh, sorry, it's the rewrites. Okay. Well, I'll be talking more to James just to make sure at some point, just to get my head around what is going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and deploy this. So and this is going to basically overwrite the this app here with the one that's running on localhost. Well, it stopped running. Let me just restart it. So node develop on the client folder. It's going to run the SvelteKit dev. So that's working fine. So we're going to break our app for a little while until we start porting features over, and this means basically this will not be working for the next few weeks. But I'm not going to, I can't be bothered setting up on a stage serving and all this stuff. But anyone can see the previous code for this series on the other videos if they want to play around with this as a single page app, not as a SvelteKit app. Alright, so what do we need to do? We need to deploy it. Okay, so deploy function I've got in here, and I think I just run Firebase deploy by itself. Deploy Firebase use default, and so I always like to have like explicitly what the project is, because I've got multiple projects on my project. So let's just get the project name. So run build and Firebase deploy. So npm run build is running rollup. So we're not doing any rollup anymore. So we need to build the actual project. So we can do that by cding into the directory and running the build in the client, or we could create a script within the client and just sh it from there. But I think I'm just going to do it with the npm script. Okay, so we're going to do that, and we're going to do cd client, and npm run build. I can never remember if the CD is actually temporarily or it's not when it's in that. I think it maybe it is. So let's just try to do CD. Probably butchered it here. Let's just try that. So just create another folder here. npm deploy. Okay, I think that's worked okay. Yeah, if anyone knows why this takes so long, please let me know. A little while later, like 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, so let's see if anything changes here. Oh wow, we have our first SvelteKit running on Firebase. And this is pretty much as much as I want to do in this video, and then we're going to start playing around with some of the more features, some of the server-side rendering, just to get a good handle of how it works within the cloud functions. Okay, well thanks for watching, and thank you James for this fantastic adapter, and thanks for all your help and support. Go and give him a star immediately on GitHub if anyone is benefiting from this. Thank you.